Chauncey, first career start last week against Kentucky. What was sort of the feeling for you going into that game, and then just how would you evaluate how you played?
It was a good feeling, it's something I dream of as a kid, being able to go out there first and kind of represent this program. But I mean, it was a really good feeling, and I think everything went well. So,
Chauncey, what do you think it was for you this summer that kind of popped, that, it's kind of led you into having a good fall so far this year?
I feel like I've always had a strong work ethic, like as a kid. But I mean, I was also very young. Like I just turned 19, in July. So I think it's just me just developing, getting older as a player, and just getting more experience and working out. So yeah.
So, explain to us the rotations. When we're watching from afar, we see you have a big run, and then they immediately pull you out, and vice versa. Nate has a big run, they immediately do. Who's making that decision, and why are you guys changing so often?
I would just say it's the standard we have. We feel really strong and confident that every running back we have in the room can go out and execute in any given moment. So just that, keeping us fresh on top of that. So definitely that.
Yeah, what was the biggest thing you learned personally in your first road game at Tennessee a few weeks ago?
Yeah, just getting used to the crowd and the environment and how loud, I don't know if y'all familiar, like on NCAA, like, you have crowd noise.
Stadium
like,
pulse.
Yeah, like stadium pulse. So, yeah, kind of just getting adjusted to that for the first time. Like, it's really, really cool, really fun experience.
What NFL backs do you like watching, or was there any back you emulated, you compare your style to?
Well, good question. I'll say growing up, I watched a lot of Saquon, Nick Chubb, Sony for sure. Being a Florida guy as well. That's been a guy that I kind of watched and took some things from, try to add into my game.
Yeah, do you feel like you're maybe more explosive, more twitchy or whatever this year? And how do you, if you do, how do you improve those kind of skill sets throughout an offseason?
I'll just say, just really, that's the reason why I came to Georgia, is to be developed and get quicker, faster, stronger. I feel as if we have one of the best strength and conditioning staffs in the country. Actually, no, I take that back. I feel like we have the best strength and conditioning staff in the country. And, we work really hard trying to make sure that we do those type of things and, improve and develop players. So I'll probably say, like, just going in the program and just listening and trying to do everything, get the most out of myself. Like, that's helped me improve.
Going back to last week, when and how did you find out you were going to get the start?
I'll probably say, like, right before the game, my coach told me, he was like, yeah, like, we're going to, start off with this and, you're going to be in. And just a good feeling, something I feel like I was prepared for, a moment that I worked really hard for, in the past and just growing up. So it was a good feeling, but yeah, like right before the game.
What was the growing experience like for you as a true freshman last year? And when you look back to last year, where do you think you've improved the most to get you to where you are now?
I'll probably just say kind of trying to learn the game and get adjusted to the speed. Like I said, coming in, I was really young. My first spring, I was 17. So kind of just trying to, not have my head on fire, trying to go around and figure out stuff. But just definitely just getting older as a player, kind of learning from older guys that have helped me and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah, what has Michael Moore's presence meant to this offensive line when you see him pulling behind you and clearing path out on the open field? Just how big do your eyes get knowing you're running behind someone like him?
I mean, it's awesome, He's a really big individual, really big, really strong. Just a freak athlete, in my opinion. I think he's one of the best guards in the country. And just being able to play behind him, I mean, it's an honor. Extremely, extremely blessed to have a guy like him on our team.
Chauncey, what do you think the level of confidence is for this running back group in terms of being able to consistently, get the yards week after week?
I'll say it's really strong. Something that we all worked on. Every guy in our room, we've all kind of given it our all and had a really good, really strong spring, summer, just the whole process beginning in winter, coming all the way to this point now. We kind of given everything we had on trying to get our bodies and mentally being able to go out there and process and play. So that for sure.
Yeah, Chauncey, to your left. I remember KJ Bolden telling us that, you know, before kickoff, he always looks around and kind of soaks in everything road SEC games bring, whether it's, you know, the scene on the Rocky Top or now the Eagle flying in. And then once the kickoff, he kind of locks in. Do you appreciate just the rivalries and you know, the passionate fan bases and what it means? And do you soak that in? And then when do you lock in?
Can you repeat that one more time, the end part for me, please?
Yeah, just, you know, do you appreciate just the historic rivalries and the passionate with the fan base and the special traditions that each of these stadiums bring with the Eagle flying in for Auburn, for example, Uga here, and when do you maybe enjoy it as a youngster, as a young man, and then when it's time to lock in, when do you do that?
I'll just probably say, like, towards the whole week, you know, we kind of think about it like, all right, like, we acknowledge the fact that we're going to be playing in a really loud environment, and you know it is really nice to kind of, you know, soak in that crowd and that environment. But I mean, it gets to a point, probably like right before the game, I would say, like, you know, we're kind of in there getting dressed, changing, like, you know, you hear the fans at a certain point in time, but kind of once you step on that field, like a switch would flip. It's like, all right, like it's time to go, like dim out all this noise, time to play.
Yeah, Chauncey, over here. Seems like you have a running style where, you know, you're pretty patient, you let things develop, and there's a suddenness. Is that something that you've always had, or is that something that the coaches have kind of helped you develop? I guess I'm just kind of curious, sort of, your vision in the backfield and the way you hit holes. How's that come to be?
I feel like it's something that, you know, I've always been able to do. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is just trying not to overthink things. Just go in and just play your game. You know, I've been playing football my whole life. I've been playing running back my whole life. So it's nothing new. You know, just a different environment. And you know, it took time to get adjusted to it, but it feels good to be able to go out and do it.
Chauncey, playing such a dynamic position, can you talk about playing with emotion and just, I guess, the adrenaline? I guess sometimes, you know, you'll hear your number called, or you'll know you're going to need to take on a backer. How do you control that, manage that, and during the course of the game?
I don't really overthink things like that. You know, I've been playing football my whole entire life, and you know, I've been tasked to, you know, go and block people before, D lineman, whoever it is. Like, I just want to do whatever I can do to help the team win. So I already know it's a blessing, you know, to be able to play for this program in general and be able to wear the G on my chest. So I'm willing to do anything I can to help the team win.
At this point, what do you know about the Auburn defense? What stands out to you, and just the challenge you guys are on offense are going to be up against?
Yeah, really physical front seven for sure. That's something that stands out to me in my opinion. I think they have a really good secondary as well. So it's going to be a tough physical game for sure. And we know we give them a lot of respect and credit. So looking forward to playing them.
Yeah, when Nate has the fumbling issues that he has, like as a teammate, what do you say to him to try and encourage him, specifically also as a running back, to just sort of help him, knowing it could potentially just be like a little mental issue?
That's my brother, you know, like on and off the field. So I look out for him and things like that. I don't want to, like, I know you said you believe it could be a mental issue. I don't think it's that, you know. I think it just happened to be an unfortunate place where he had the ball at against Alabama, and the guy just made a really good hit, you know what I'm saying? So, like, stuff like that, you know, it's bound to happen as a running back. And as we've seen, he's really great, really electric. He's an awesome player and an awesome guy to be around. So I don't think it's going to be anything that we have to worry about in the future in terms of that. He's worked really hard, and he's practiced and done everything that, you know, we want him to do. So I'm looking forward to him being able to go out there and execute.
To kind of follow up on that, what kind of response did you see from Nate after the Alabama game? Just what he did last week, and then obviously what he was able to do against Kentucky?
Yeah, I think what he's done over the week kind of just shows what type of leader and what type of guy he is, you know, in terms of him taking accountability and working extremely hard on his ball security. And, you know, we've all taken notice of it, and we're all really proud of the progress he's been making.
Auburn's holding opponents to less than 90 yards rushing per game. You mentioned the physical front seven, but what stands out to you about the way they defend the run specifically?
Yeah, you know, really aggressive, but nothing that I want to take away from them. No, they're an extremely good team, but I feel like we have a great front seven as well, and we're looking forward to playing them.
Time for one more question.
For the second time in as many weeks in the NFL, we've seen a running back drop the ball before they went to the goal line and scored a touchdown. do they preach that here, and can you ever fathom your head coach's reaction should that happen?
Yeah, I don't want to even imagine what would happen if, something like that happened here. But yeah, he would definitely rip into us, at least to say.
Chauncey, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Chauncey.